Hi, this is Trey Passer, and this is my movie review of the movie The Descendants with spoilers. Okay, this movie, The Descendants, I saw it today. There's my ticket stub there. I don't know if you can see that or not. I think it focuses. You can focus the magical. There it goes, The Descendants. There you go. Okay, this movie, I think it opened actually last week sometime, or maybe might have been 2 weeks ago. In limited release, and I think now it's in wide release, I think. This movie stars George Clooney. Okay, two young actresses play his daughters in the movie. The first person's name is Shailene Woodley. No relation. The second, who plays the 17-year-old daughter of George Clooney, and the second actress, she's the 10-year-old who plays his 10-year-old daughter. Her name is Amara Miller. Okay. And it also stars another young actor, Nick Cross, who plays a friend of the 17-year-old. And basically, what this movie's about is George Clooney's character is a lawyer who lives in Hawaii. He's one of these busy guys who he even described himself as a backup parent. He's the backup parent. He's not the main parent. He's always usually real busy doing work, and he kind of leaves the parenting to his wife. Well, the movie begins with his wife in a hospital. She's in a coma. Apparently, there was an accident, a boating accident, when she went boating, and she apparently went jet skiing, and hit her head, and she lapsed into a coma, almost drowned. But now they have her on the machines. Okay, and basically, George Clooney's trying to adjust, to his new role as the primary caregiver of his parents, of his daughters. And of course, his one daughter, 17-year-old daughter, is going to a private school on a different island from the main island that he lives on, and his younger daughter, of course, is going to school on the island that he's on, and she's having a hard time. In fact, in the beginning of the movie, he gets called to the school for the younger daughter because apparently she's taking pictures of her mother in a coma and showing it and using it for show and tell, and upsetting the other students. And of course, they have a conference with George Clooney to try to explain to him how you have to really watch your younger daughter. That's not appropriate for a school. And of course, like I said, he's just adjusting to his role. So, he's trying to explain to her, how this is not appropriate, for school and everything. And in the midst of that, he gets another phone call from one of her classmates saying that his daughter is texting inappropriate things to her daughter, and he really needs to come over and make her apologize because this is really disturbing stuff. And he brings his daughter over and makes her apologize. And this is what we find out, because after he makes her apologize and they get ready to leave, the mother explains, tells him she heard about his land deal and she hopes it works out for the best, and he'll hope he pays attention to the Hawaiian traditions. And you find out that his descendants, I guess it was the name of the movie, I think his seven great grandmothers ago was one of these island Hawaiian princesses, and his, I guess, great grandfather married one of these Hawaiian princesses, and he inherited land, from marrying her. She was a princess, one of the original descendants of the Hawaiian Islands. So when his descendant married, the princess, they inherited land, and of course it's been in the family for generations and generations. And of course, and they're well off, but he supposedly doesn't spoil his kids. And actually, this movie is mostly about him trying to connect, because actually, in the beginning of the movie, towards the beginning of the movie, actually, what the doctors sit him down and explain to him that his wife is never going to wake up out of her coma, and that he might, she has a living will, of course, which he knows, and he better make preparations, let everybody know, because they're gonna take her off life support, and then it'll probably be maybe a couple of weeks. He said a couple of days, and she's gonna go. Okay, so this movie is basically about him trying to reconnect with his two daughters. Okay, And I mean, first say I absolutely love this movie. This movie was directed by, I think, Alexander Payne, I believe that's his name, who made Sideways, which I never saw, but I know that movie had got nominated for a lot of Academy Awards and stuff. You know, it was supposed to be, I think, even got nominated for Best Picture a couple of years ago. And what I love about this movie, particularly, I love George Clooney's acting in this movie. He goes through a lot of emotions in this movie. You know, from trying to just he's like he said before, he's the backup parent, so he has to adjust to try to parent his daughters who are, or let's say they're out of control. Like I said, his youngest daughter is, like I said, is doing morbid things and sending nasty emails, texts, and stuff to her friends. And his older daughter, 17-year-old daughter, like I said, is when he goes to pick her up, you see her, she's outside, hanging outside the dorm room, and she's drinking when he finds her. And of course, she's resentful, of course, and he tells her that she has to make up, she has to make up with your mother because she's dying and stuff, and she's still giving him attitude. And then when she finally breaks it to him that his wife was actually having an affair, and that she knew. Yeah, and that's what the last conversation she had with her mother was when she explained, when she found out her mother was screwing around on her father. And George Clooney's character is, he's trying to, when he gets the news, it's a great scene where he actually tells his daughter that he'll be right back, and he runs down I don't know, you might see this in a clip that I think they have online, or I think, it's a clip online that I actually saw before the movie, where you see him running down the road, and he actually goes to the neighbors, their supposedly best friends, and explain to him, he tells them who's this, he's telling them who's this guy that she's having an affair with, he wants to know, and eventually they tell him, the husband tells him, and and then the next part of the movie, like I said, is basically they actually start out to go confront. He actually goes to confront the guy, and he brings his daughters along, just so he can have some private time with them. And also, he wants to, like I said, he wants to confront the guy that was having an affair, with his wife. And I guess because he wants to know, if he really loved her, because the best friend's wife told him that his wife was actually going to leave him for this guy. So, he actually goes on vacation. Well, not vacation. He goes on to another island where the guy is supposed to be staying with his family to explain, to try to find out, why he's, what was the nature of their relationship. He has to confront him. And his daughter insists upon going with him, his older daughter. Okay, and they confront him. And like I said, what I love about this movie, besides the pacing of this movie is, is sort of leisurely, and it gets you from point A to point B. But there's a lot of emotions in this movie. Like I said, George Clooney goes through a great range of emotions. The angry, because there's a part when he actually after he finds out that his wife was having the affair before her accident. He goes into the hospital room and he actually yells at her, her comatose body. He yells at her, but then he catches himself because he knows he has to be strong for his kids. Okay, and like I said, George Clooney, I think he's probably going to get nominated for I think for Best Actor for this movie, because I think he did one of the finest acting jobs I've ever seen. Like I said, he had to go through all that range of emotions, from angry, to sad, to being a stern father, and he even had to put up with his father-in-law, who actually was blaming him for his wife having the accident, saying that if he wasn't so cheap, and if he actually bought her a boat, and was actually more devoted, to her, that maybe she wouldn't have had the accident if she had her own boat. Okay, which is crazy, but that's where it is, and of course, he has to keep that inside. He can't, he can't tell the father that no, your daughter was cheating on me, and he has to keep that into himself. And like I said, he goes through a great range of emotions, and like I said, I think he is going to get nominated for. I think this movie is going to get nominated for Best Picture, and I think George Clooney is going to get nominated for Best Actor. He probably won't win, but he'll probably get nominated. Because I think, like I said, I think he did a great job, Like I said, and the young actress that plays his daughter, the older daughter, her name is I wrote it down again. Shailene Woodley. She was great in the movie too, also, and I think like I said, there's there's a lot of recognizable actors in the movie that play like Bo Bridges is in the movie. Matthew Le Matthew Layard, which is if you don't recognize that name, that's the guy that played Scooby. Not Scooby. He played Shaggy in the two Scooby Doo movies that were made. That actually went to the theater. He actually plays a serious role. He actually plays a guy that was having an affair with George Clooney's wife. Like I said, and there's a great scene where he confronts the guy on the island, and confronts him about having an affair with his wife. And it doesn't go the way you think it would go. I mean, there's a lot of, he actually explains to George Clooney that, listen, it's one of these things that happened. He said, I didn't love her. Yeah, she took it more seriously than I do, and he basically begs him not to tell his family because he said he loves his family because he's married and has two kids, so he basically begs him not to. And so you actually feel sympathy for him. Yeah, at first I think he's a scumbag for having an affair with a married woman, especially when he's married. But then, like I said, when he goes through a spiel where he explains why that he doesn't want to lose his family, that he loves his wife, okay, and it got out of control, you actually feel for him. And another, like I said, the other subplot to the movie, which is about George Clooney. Like I said, he's the trustee of the family, all the descendants, and he has to make a land deal to sell this last 25 acres of land that they own. Okay, and of course, in the beginning, he's going to go along with it and sell the land and make money for all the cousins and stuff. But again, I guess throughout this process of grieving for the wife and reconnecting with his daughters, he has a change of heart and he decides not to sell the land. He has really like 7 years to make a decision. So he said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Let's think of another way to do this. And he actually, like I said, he reconnects with his family and even with his heritage. There's a great scene where he goes to the house and he sees all the pictures of all his past descendants and stuff. And I think he reconnects with his family there, with his past, the past, because he's kind of been aloof, to the whole history of his family and stuff. And like I said, I really love this movie. And excuse my voice again. My voice is, I guess I'm getting over a cold and my voice is gone. But like I said, I love this movie and I would highly recommend it to anybody. Like I said, I think it's going to get nominated for Best Picture and George Clooney is going to get nominated for Best Actor. Okay, it was that good to me and I would highly recommend it to anybody. So let me know what you think of this movie and what do you think of this review. Feel free to leave comments below. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.